This is the Fastbreak, the ultimate podcast where we dive deep into the world of the MMA Basketball Association. Guiding you through the highs, the lows, and the incredible stories that make basketball more than just a game. Be competitive, be the dogs you know you are, but most importantly, be careful. This is the Fast.
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? We are back with another episode of the Fast Break. We're at week 3 of the season, so we're gonna jump right into it. You got your boy BG, got my guy Ace, co-host, and special guest, two-time champ, Mr. I've been to the finals like 5 times straight or something like that. I don't know. He's been to the finals a lot. Miggie, my guy Miggie.
Yep.
I don't even want to dance around it. Like, we might as well get right to it. So currently, Avengers are 6-0. Storm Hoopers are hot on their backs. Like, that doesn't sound right. Hot on our tail.
Oh my!
They hot on our tail. Well, like, they're like 2 games back, but like all it takes, they beat us next time head to head, and they're right there. So yeah, it's some stuff going on. We just played y'all. So Miggy, I need a walkthrough. What was going on? You seemed a little hot after the game. It seemed like I wanted to get you on here because it seemed like there's a little friendly rivalry between you and Ace now. But what was going on, bro?
It wasn't even so much like I was hot at the game because there was a few times I tried to call a play and certain people were not listening to me. Setup going, I'm not gonna disclose too many things for the next time, so I'm gonna keep that a little bit. So I was trying to call certain setups, and some people were not listening to me because I was trying to get a certain advantage in game, so they didn't listen to me. So I was annoyed at that. The emo thing, I was not a fan of.
To explain context, at the end of the game, about 4 out of 5, because we had a player specifically say, "I'm not doing that crap." Go to the middle of the logo and taunt. Now, granted, and it's hard to explain during the text message, but especially when everything is like talking, it actually wasn't planned. Like, it was just a good game. And then originally, what I was going to do, pause, was sit on the ball. But somebody fouled me, and I was like, "Dang, I sit on the pause, sit on the ball." But I think Allen fouled me when I'm like, "All right, cool." And then BG says, "Hey, let's go to the logo and taunts."
Whoa. So
time out. I said that.
Yes.
I said that. I did. But Migs. BG egged it on though.
Of course I did, but that I'm not gonna take credit.
No,
for
I know. BG is the ultimate instigator. I'm aware of. It wasn't so much like I was like, what did we do to them that they want to emote on us? Because it's like I've played against you guys so many times, and I feel like my teams, especially against Ace and BG, I feel like I always give you guys, like, if you guys are like having a good season, I always give you guys the most problems. So I was just like, so there was just kind of like a mutual respect that whenever our teams go against each other, like, the games are always close for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually are. And I think that's where like the disconnect was, because like what we did wasn't personal. It was just like, yo, let's do this. Yeah, but no, all our games are, and all of us obviously respect y'all. We know at least, especially BG, you said it the other day, like while we were in chat, like we know at least between y'all and La Familia are like our competition. And when we talk about competition, I mean like
Chrome Elite too. Chrome Elite is definitely hooping.
Yeah, and Chrome Elite too. Is like when I say competition, I mean like as far as like my rule, because the top seeds are obviously looking at the finals. We're not looking at the playoffs for real. You feel like, I'm pretty sure Mig on y'all side, y'all feel like y'all gonna be in the finals.
Yeah, 100%.
And our side, we feel the same way. So it was more so like, I want, we respect y'all as competitors, and we know one of y'all two, we're gonna be playing. One of y'all three, we're gonna be playing in the finals. But like you said, all of our games are close all the time. We got the best. We've been getting the best out of. I won't say y'all because it's the first time y'all. Y'all are all on the team, and we are all on the team.
Nah,
but
bro, we get the best because Charlie.
No, I'm saying, as of late, we
I
have.
promise you, bro. Charlie goes Super Saiyan when he plays us, bro. That putback was
bro,
nasty.
Charlie,
Bro.
Charlie and DJ be going at it.
Yeah, bro.
They be going at it.
Like,
yeah.
I remember last time we played. I think. Well, was Charlie on your team in the finals, Mig?
Yeah, last year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. He was hooping too. Like, I mean, and maybe Charlie doesn't get enough like credit or respect. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if it's underestimating him, and that's just what he's capable of all the time. But like, bro, I don't be seeing it when he plays against other teams. He plays against us. This man is locked in.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like, slashing, well-timed cuts, all that stuff. So, from our perspective, like the whole thing, honestly, it was my idea as far as the emote thing. It was not the whole team. I just said, I was like, oh, you should Ace, you should emote just like Sosa did when they beat La Familia. That was all I said. And because I was like, when the game is over, just go ahead and emote. Ace said, nah, we all gonna go to the logo and emote. It wasn't like I said, it wasn't even like I'm gonna tell you, and this is whatever, straight up honesty, like we look forward to y'all game. Like we got y'all circled on the calendar, and then Chrome Elite. Like we have those. Like those are the games. Like, hey, bro, I don't care if we get a reserve for any other game. We want the full squad here for those two games. And so we was waiting for that matchup all season, and it's crazy. What my favorite part about this season so far. So first off, I absolutely am loving the fact that we have 7 teams. The way the schedule worked, I don't even know. I honestly don't know how it did that because I literally just all it is randomly put the names in the schedule and it generated a random schedule. I don't know how it has us playing y'all like 3 times in a
3
row.
weeks in a row, yeah.
But I like it. It feels like an NBA type schedule, like the kind of like randomness to it. Like I'm loving it. And I love that, as opposed to when we have 5 teams where every other week you're playing the exact same 2 teams. Now it's like we don't even play Chrome Elite until like week 5, I think, or something like that. Like for the first time. And so like this it's been a lot of fun. But my whole thing too was not just the schedule, but bruh, it's like there's some really good teams. Like even though we're in first, we're undefeated, I personally don't feel like cocky type of like, oh yeah, we're guaranteed to win this. Nah, bro, it's like I feel like
it's not like not like you guys last season where you guys were clearly the best and you guys spanked your way all the way basically up until the finals. The only time you guys lost a game all season was against us in the finals, and it was you guys were by far the best, and I had everybody like I'm always locked in to play you guys, especially because you guys have more or less had the same team the last 2 seasons. So I've been always locked in to play you guys, and so there's an extra like me getting upset the other day was more like I was upset at my team partially, and I let them know about it after the game so they know who they are. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but I mean it was a negligible like thing, It was very between the lines, like the game was close the entire time. I don't think anybody had more than like a 6-point lead the entire game.
No, y'all did early, but I always say the first half don't count because the biggest quarters of the game, in my opinion, are the third and the fourth quarter. The first half is really just the filler half. I'm filling out the other team, y'all filling us out, and now all right, the second half, less ball. You know what I'm saying? The fourth quarter is the most important. But
I feel like against you guys, like my teams have always gotten off to a good start. Like we always get off to a good like 8-point lead, and then you guys always like tighten up and then regain not the advantage, but like because like the game was back, and I feel like from like the middle of the second quarter all the way until like towards the last like 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, it was just like back and forth the entire time. So So I was also, I may have had a glass of whiskey, so I was
Oh,
also
that's
like,
guaranteed. That's
I was,
guaranteed.
I was
That's
also,
guaranteed, Mick.
because it's like I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. So it's like I need something to kind of like calm me down. But sometimes when we lose, it doesn't calm me down. It makes me even worse. So I was twice as upset as I normally was. I slept on it. I'm like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, and one thing,
Yeah.
I'll wake up the next day and then be like, all right, I'm good. It's not a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
Like, did
Yeah.
I not like it? No, but because I was just like, yo, why you guys emoting? Like, because the thing is with La Familia, Sosa and their team, like they're in another like MLB league, and like they're
Mm-hmm.
cool. And
Mm-hmm.
so because we had played two scrimmage games before the season against La Familia, and they spanked us twice.
Mm-hmm.
They spanked us both games.
Oh, wait.
So
So, Mick, hold
so
on.
go ahead.
Not to cut you off, but I got a question. So, based off those two, maybe you can answer both, like, or finish what you were saying while answering it. But like, while y'all played those two games versus La Familia, when they came into the league, did you feel like based off those two games, just those two games alone, did you feel like they were going to come in and kind of dominate? And I'm not saying like they're good or bad, but did you feel like when they came in into our league as a full team, because usually we don't do that, but as a full team, did you feel like they were going to be like top, towards like the top of the league, or did you feel like your team at the time just didn't, know or know about the
So
team?
one, we didn't know anything about them. Two, I was very surprised how like structured they are offensively and defensively. So they caught because we were trying new lineups against them. So we're just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Let's scrimmage against the team that we're going to face in the league. Let's try some new lineups. Let's try some things, and then we go from there. Thinking that like didn't we did not think anything of them. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think anything of them until we played them, and I'm like, no, 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 these guys are serious. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god, we're. I think at one point in both games we were down by 20. Like I'm telling you, we're getting spanked. We were also trying some new lineups, so it was a little bit different. And then when we played them the first game in to start the season, and then like his TV turned off. But at the end of the day, I still feel good about the win because they came back, they tied the game. We went into overtime and we beat them in overtime. So at the end of the day, it's 0-0 going into overtime
Right.
and we won.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like okay, like and then like when the guy came back, we squandered the lead because we started, we let go of the lead and all that stuff. So so that's why I didn't even notice honestly that Sosa had emoted them, or didn't even remember that happened. But that's because Sosa's cool with them. They're in another league, so that was the whole thing. And then to answer your question a little bit more directly, Ace, I knew from the first game, I'm like, okay, I don't know if these guys are going to be the best team in the league, but they're definitely going to be a very serious team. We're going to have to deal with these guys at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and they're doing different lineups and all that stuff, and too. So they're trying to figure it out as well, because I'm sure they probably came in thinking like, oh, if this is going to be one of the better teams in the league, then and we're spanking them, then we're going to spank the whole league, So and that didn't happen, So I guess that's how it is, and they're a really good team. They're a really good team. I haven't seen the same level that they played against us against everybody else, so maybe it's like a concentration thing. They see Sosa, kind of like everybody else, and they wanna stick it to him. Pause. But
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
then again, we always mention, and me and BG like specifically, how with the league, leagues are different, and I'm not sure if they've been in the 2K league before,
mhm.
or whatever, but
Well, they have.
I
They
can
have.
say at least a lot of okay, they have but a
They
lot
have.
of us,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know myself, BG, I know you for sure, Miggy, but then also a lot of players in the league, they watch games and game plan. So, you know, throughout the games when you're watching these, teams play, then you learn tendencies where they like to dribble, where they shoot the best from. Like it sounds like crazy, but we all compete like
Yeah.
on a playful level. But
Nah, I ain't no playful, bro. We trying to
no,
win. Everybody trying to
but you know
win.
what I'm saying. We're not taking it like NBA players essentially,
Yeah.
but we still
Yeah.
take it seriously.
Yeah.
So, I told BG our unofficial rankings that I had them first, and that's without me even seeing them play, but just based on the fact, like BG mentioned, they played in the league before, and like you mentioned, how structured they are offensively and defensively, and everybody knows where to go. So I just figured, these are we got a bunch of teams that we just put together, and then they stayed together, same position. So I was like, oh, I think they're gonna be first. But
Yeah.
I don't know. They took a bad L to Night Owls. That's gonna hurt them later on.
Yeah, but they did come back and beat they
Chrome
beat
Elite.
Chrome Elite, so
Yeah.
that was, and we lost to them, and so
the
it's
big
definitely
thing,
been entertaining, especially like the middle portion of the standings is very entertaining between us, Chrome Elite, and even you guys. Like you guys beat everybody else by 10 plus points or more, but I know the difference is not that there's like the top 4 teams in the league have a lot of talent,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Now question for you, Mig. So, like first off, now I'm gonna bring a little bit of attention to like you and Ace were trading some barbs, right? But now you have like forget the exact stuff y'all said. Like I'm not worried about that. But my question, like y'all have both benefited from playing with really well-rounded teams, both you and Ace, right? So what has been the difference? What's not for this season specifically, but just in general, like when you've gone from one team to another, what's been the difference? Because both of y'all be around the finals pretty often. So like what sets what is it that you do differently than I won't even say differently. What is it that you do? Because it's obviously it's something different that between you and Ace that like y'all pretty much hover around the finals. Like I think Ace, you've been to the finals like 5 times or something like that.
Uh, like maybe 5 yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I'm like 3 and nah, I don't remember losing in the finals outside of that one time. Did I have
the
I?
Zonix finals.
Well,
Yeah,
we didn't make it to the we
when we
we
cut
didn't
it to
make it to the
best of
finals that
24.
year.
Yeah,
no, when we cut it to best of 3 instead.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the only finals that I lost. I think
Yeah.
because Sonics, me, Miggie, we won.
Mm-hmm.
Last season we won, and then I believe when else did I win? Oh, with the Bad Boys. But I think the only other time that I made it to the finals was against Zonix and YDC, which we lost, but because we shortened the season or to shorten the playoffs or whatever. So
Yeah.
But
I
I
mean, the
think
way that they
Miggy
were
might
playing, it
have
was no
been more
guaranteeing that
than
you guys would have won, but it was they definitely like found a weakness in you guys, and they were exploiting it pretty heavily.
Yeah. But
Unfortunately.
so how many times have you been to the finals, man?
So I made it my rookie season with you, and then I've made it 3 seasons in a row.
So okay, so
So
we both been 4 times. So I
yeah,
think the last the last couple finals has either been me, you, or Tay. I think is the 3 that at least
one of us has
one of
always been
us
in the finals. Yeah.
has been there. So yeah, so I guess
Whoa,
I
whoa,
mean
whoa, whoa, whoa! I've been in. I'm gonna just plug myself for a second because I think
There we go.
I have to do it.
you
I have
have
to do it. I've been in the finals. What 2 of the
3
last 3?
times.
2 of the last 3. Yeah.
2 of the last
I
3.
thought you've been in 3. You went last season, the first season when you guys were Luck City, and then
Yeah.
the season before where weren't you on Ace's team when you guys lost to Zonix?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
wait,
you've
but
been in
there's a break in there too though.
well,
But yeah, BG, you've been a bunch of times too,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah.
Nah, but y'all got me beat for sure because that was my first win his last one. So,
hmm
but I just wanted to plug myself for 1 second. But anyway,
So
nah, so
actually, Miggy, that finals last season actually was, I guess, the tiebreaker for me and Mig because
hmm
we both were. Oh no,
Yeah, but you guys were the
well,
favorites by far,
we,
like especially with me. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, like I was surprised we made the finals because,
we weren't
it just
surprised actually.
no, we weren't.
We knew y'all were going to win. We had already knew we were going to play
Yeah,
y'all
I
last
was I
season.
was actually hoping y'all got knocked off by another team because I'm like not even afraid of y'all, but I'm like if I want my first chip, I don't care about how difficult or whatever it is. I want to make sure we're getting a chip. So I was hoping y'all lost because I knew if we played y'all, that would be the toughest
Yeah,
possible
the toughest
matchup for
matchup.
us.
Yeah,
So
gotcha.
but no, so now, all right, how are you finding it? Like, we asked our previous guest, but how are you enjoying it with 7 teams? What you think?
I really like it, honestly. This has been one of the better seasons because one, there are a lot of new teams.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of the same guys are on the same teams, guys that I play with, like Crimson Cloud, like, they are newish to the league, but I've been playing 2K with them for, quite some time already at this point. I really
Hmm.
like, I think Street Sweepers, when they have a full team, because the last time we played them, they actually outplayed us for 3 quarters. But because we were like, you know, I'm not saying that they're this horrible team on paper. On paper, they have a pretty decent team, and Vision has been playing very well. But we kind of took our foot off the gas once we kind of got the big lead, and they went into a zone, and they were actually pretty structured on it. I'm like, so I think they might steal a few wins before the season ends. I don't think they'll go winless throughout. So I think they'll if they have their full lineups consistently, I think they can steal a few wins. Night Owls, they've already stolen a few wins from La Familia, so that was a big shocker. So I really enjoy. There's a little bit more parity, and um, and then like the top four teams are relatively close in terms of like talent and structure and all that stuff. So Chroma Lead, they beat us. We didn't have our best game that game, but they and Mac played amazing. I think Mac is a very obvious early candidate for, at the bare minimum,
Yeah.
offensive player of the year.
Yeah,
Bare minimum.
I got him. If the season ended right this second, with the standings being like a 2 game gap and all that stuff, I would have him as MVP right now.
100%,
Yeah, I
because
agree.
in terms of numbers, like I don't even think nobody's even like close to putting up the type of numbers that he's putting up, and
Yeah,
they're winning, so
yeah,
it's like they
yeah.
have a winning record, and
Yep,
on top of that he's dominating,
yep,
so
yep.
with us, we kind of do it by committee. You guys have always, any team that is point guarded by ace is always done by committee. You guys have every single person above double figures, so it's kind of hard to focus in on one person when you
Yeah,
guys have multiple guys that can beat you. So it's been really fun. It's been really fun so far. A lot of parity, a little bit of trash talking here and there. So
yeah, yeah.
And,
No, it's
and
been
you know
fun,
what I
man.
like too? And because I mean, Miggy, I talked to you off the side, so like,
yeah,
not one time we were like going back and forth did I ever like feel like we weren't going to be cool at the end of the day, or like I was
no,
actually serious. Like, but I feel like as long as we don't cross a line, no. What I do love about our league, nobody gets personal. Nobody, uh, says anything hateful. Like we're strictly just talking about the league, and we just
yeah.
strictly talking about like ball, like whether it's the
Mhm.
NBA. When we talking in the chat, and our chat is very active, or when we just talking trash, whether about MMA, which I love. But in your opinion, so far in the season, who's somebody? And I hate to put you on blast, but who's somebody that you or a team that you thought would be either bad and ended up being good, or a good team or a bad team that you thought would you get it, vice versa, blah blah blah. I lost my train of thought. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, for the most part, like everybody's kind of around what I expected, I guess, because if we hadn't played La Familia before the season started, we would have had zero idea what they were capable of, and I would have underestimated them immediately.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
like very, very few teams just walk into the league and can be very, very competitive. So, because for the most part, I kind of know, we had a lot of teams, but we kind of know like what the teams are for the most part. It's like I'm sure when you guys, it's like me, Tony, Sosa, Allen, and Charlie, you're just like, well, that team's going to be competitive. It's like I see you
Right.
guys, like, it's kind of like, you know, I won a championship with Ace, Tay, and like myself and like that structure. And I've had so many battles with BG before when I used to play center. constantly, all the time. So it's like I
Yeah.
understand Phil. Phil won. Yeah, on my demise, he had like a 28-point game.
without missing.
So yeah,
Yeah.
And it's funny now because when we were talking, and I did win a chip with Phil before y'all joined the league, right? But Phil was nowhere near the player that he is. I mean, like nowhere near. Like
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
back then, Phil couldn't like shoot like consistent like at all. And
Yeah.
then by the time like you played with him in PTR, it was like hold up, Phil like might be like one of the 5 or 6
yeah.
best players in this league.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody shoot 100% as often as he does, and it don't be
Yeah.
like 5 for 5.
Yeah.
It's like 10 for 10,
Yep.
13 for like
Yep.
what? Like what?
Yeah. Phil is one of those people where like he knows exactly what he's good at, and he's always going to take that shot.
Yeah.
And so, and he plays a smart brand of basketball. He doesn't try to do too much, So you know exactly what you're going to get from him, and you have to account. You have to account for him, because
Yeah.
he can
Yeah.
do that. Like he's done it multiple times already. This is not.
And I say the same
one-time
thing about Tone too. Tone
Yep.
is
Yep.
really Tone. It doesn't matter what build he plays on, center, shooting guard. It does not matter. Tone
Yeah.
hoops.
You know what's
But
funny? I can't make this up. I was talking to Phil on the phone yesterday, literally about this. I said, it's crazy. Like you and Tone are almost clones. Like y'all both don't take bad shots. You guys, you can't leave either one of them open, and neither one of them like they're not gonna. Tone plays his game no matter what. Like he's not
mm-hmm,
forcing shots up. Phil doesn't
mm-hmm.
really force shots up. If like 9 times out of 10, like either one of them may dribble a little bit more than you might expect sometimes, but aside from that, you can guarantee neither one of them is going to just take a bad shot. Like and they're knockdown shooters. But I wanted to kind of like segue into another thing too. So we're going to be trying to get the award ladders going. We're waiting on, I think, a couple of teams. I think our team even now needs to post stats for week 3 at this point. So we're trying to get the updated stats before we can have the award ladder done. So the panel is now 5 different guys. One of them's a reserve, so it's like completely different. Or no, we got two of the same guys, but we've changed the panel up a little bit. None of neither me or Ace are on the panel. What was I going to say? So
And
it's
Miggie
like,
was on the panel last season too, so he's not
yeah,
there either.
right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, spread it around a little bit, but also keep it, unbiased as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask y'all both, if you had to give a panel or an awards race right now, at least you can give me at least one name for each award. If you can give me 2, that's cool, but at least give me one name for each award as of right now. So
Okay.
we have
Go first, Ace, if you want.
we have MVP, DPOY, OPOY, Rookie of the Year, and Most Improved.
Okay.
So of course there won't be a glue guy of the year this season.
Okay. So you want to walk down? So MVP first.
Sure.
Oh man. Well, for sure, I think Mac is
I think
number
that's the easy
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, Mac.
I think Mac is one, and to be honest, I don't really have a second player for MVP. And it's not that like because a lot of people are balling. Mig, you're balling. BG balling. You know what? I'll say Mac and DJ.
Okay.
I think Mac has obviously a huge lead, but DJ does play out of his mind on a nightly basis.
I will agree. Like I feel like you guys have a lot of talent, and for the most part, in every single game that you guys have played, I think DJ has been standing out the most so far this season.
Yeah. Like I mean, anytime we play, and maybe it's the same thing. I'm just sidetrack, but like our matchups are intense. But I don't know what it is about y'all, but DJ turned up. But like BG was saying, Charlie turned up against us too. It's just like, yo, like what's going on here? And it's like nobody expects it. I think people forget how good DJ really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me it's Mac and DJ.
Okay. And who you got, Mig, for MVP?
I would probably say Mac for sure. The second, like Mac and everybody else, I think right now, You know, you obviously, I would probably with your team, I'd put DJ with La Familia because I'm just gonna go by like the MVP for each team if that's because like you know La Familia has the Jesus guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he been
played like
hooping.
point guard, power forward. He's played like 4 different builds, but he's balled out in every single one. And against us in the scrimmage games, for me, he was like this player.
Hmm.
So you know, and then for Chroma lead, well, actually, no, Mac is would be the MVP for that team, and then for Crimson, it, they kind of do it by committee, but I guess you know maybe like Candonga or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
So and then
yeah,
with us, you know, it's you could say myself, you could say Tony, you know. So it just really
Yeah,
depends. But
it'll be one of y'all for sure.
yeah, yeah. I think I would go Mac, and I'm always in favor of like the team at the top of the standings
yeah,
getting somebody mentioned. So if I had to pick two, I'm going Mac and probably Ace. Ace,
Me.
Ace or DJ. I just DJ scores and everything, but and I'm not taking away anything from DJ's game because he does a phenomenal job with like score. Like he's a knockdown shooter. He's an excellent secondary rebounder, which is what makes us really
hmm
good. But
yeah.
I gotta go with Ace because again, just not even the point guard like leading the team, but also the defense because you're one of the only point guards that defends on ball and you do it at like a pretty good level. So even though, yeah, I know everybody says we play zone, but what I mean is you're the one that's picking up the ball handler in the middle of the zone. So, that'll probably be my two right now.
I
And
mean, that's
even
why I voted for Ace for MVP. I think it was like either last season or 2 seasons ago. I don't remember which one it was because I
yeah,
understand like being the point guard, and I know the type of responsibility that Ace puts on himself. Like
yeah,
he's involved in almost everything, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So it's like I even though like the numbers aren't like so standoffish because I understand that he's orchestrating so much of what you guys do. For me, that's just kind of like you
yeah,
know
yeah.
wow.
But I still, even that being said, even if we were to finish undefeated, if for just my personal, if I had a vote and Chrome Elite finishes in second and they have no more than like 3 or 4 losses and Matt keeps up his numbers, he's MVP to me by
Yeah.
far. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not even going to be close for me
Even if they
this
get like
season.
the third seed, but they have a winning record, it's like
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
kind of almost have to give it to him because the numbers
yeah,
are. I think he's
yeah,
averaging over 20 and more than 10 assists, 10
yeah,
rebounds. So
yeah, yeah. All
We
right, so let's move on to we'll go with offense, OPOY. Two names if you
So
can.
I hate putting the same MVP for OPOY, so I'm gonna give two different names.
Okay.
Mine would be Miggy and Breezy from Night Owls. Yo, he be
Yes. Yes.
hooping.
Yes.
He be
that
Hey,
hooping.
I'm gonna step away for
we
2 seconds, but y'all keep
Yep.
going.
against us, like the game that we played against Night Owls, it was very close. He was balling out of his mind. I think he had like 15 points at the half. You know, so we had to make some adjustments defensively to slow specific him down, like just him, because he was the one balling. Because we're like we're not really worried about anybody else, but
Hmm.
he was doing really good. So that's a good mention on
And I
his.
feel like even like you said, like when you try to account for him, like even still, I still felt like he was finding ways to like get open, and like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yo, I'm like, then we just say watch him, like, why is he wide open again? But no, yeah, I think for OPOY for me would be you and Breezy. What's who you got?
Um, yeah, I mean, like Mac right now is the obvious choice for like MVP or OPOY, but if you want to like add other people, you know, Tony is averaging 20, you know, so you got to account for that as well.
That is true. Tone is going
DJ, I
too.
think
Yep.
he's averaging like, you know, 16, 17 points per game. Who else
Excuse me.
is high up in scoring? I think one of the guys from La Familia, I think it was the Jesus guy that I had mentioned earlier. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
averaging like 18 or something like that. So,
Sheesh, we got
um,
some scores in this league. Don't
Danny has had
uh
so a couple of good games recently, you know. So because he's the point guard, he's gonna, you know,
Danny
put
hoops
him.
too.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
um,
Danny's actually been he had a couple of not so good games that
the
knock
star,
him
yeah.
in my opinion knock him down like a tier or two from like being the front runner for OPOY, but he's been balling.
Yeah, against us, he had a spectacular game. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good game last night too. Who you got, BG?
I think after like you reminded me of him. I might actually go my front runner is Breezy, and I give him a little bit more of the nod because the team has been around him has not been good. Like their
yeah,
offense is not their offense doesn't seem very structured. They definitely have a lot of guys that aren't doing very well shooting wise. And that being the case, like it's easier for teams to kind of like zero in on him.
focus in on him. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's still getting, and he's had multiple games so far of like shooting almost like 80 something percent or 70, at least 70%, multiple games. So,
Yeah.
and it's not, again, it's kind of like what you said about Phil earlier. It's not just like he's taking 5 shots, he's taking, 7 plus, 8 plus.
Right.
So,
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, who DPOY? I'll let you go first, Mick.
DPOY is the toughest one by far, because it's like you can pick like 3 guys on your team as candidates. I was at the beginning of the year, I was playing shooting guard, and I felt like I was a really good candidate because I was playing on my lock, and we were playing a lot of man. But we've had to switch things around with Sosa and myself and Allen, so just to kind of get, So because of my point guard, I'm not on the ball, so it's like I got to take myself out of it. But if I was playing my shooting guard throughout the season, there was no way I feel like I would not have been put on that list. But I can't put myself there anymore. Who else is playing really good? There was a lock on somebody else's team. Mel, I think Mel for sure.
Evan, that's the
yes,
lock on Chrome.
Yeah, he was playing really good, and then like Higgs had a game against us just this last week. If he keep, and I feel like if he continues on that path, then I think he can have a pretty good conversation. Albeit like on a bad team, like if he continues on that, because not only did he ball out, but he was playing really great defense. So he's got like a 99 perimeter on that build. So, I mean, we could pick like 3 guys on your team, like between Ace, BG, and DJ for DPOI. So I'll let you guys decide that. I'm not going to get into that because that's just, you guys have a really structured team defense. So it's kind of hard to pick one person that stands out. Because I think like DJ is averaging like 3 steals and a block, and then like Ace is averaging like 3 steals. So it's just kind of like,
I'm trying to get to a block. I'm trying to get a block every game. It's not working out that way.
stay in your lane, boy. Stay in your lane.
I was averaging a block on my shooting guard to start the season, but because I switched to my point guard, it's very.
And I can't average a block because if I even get a whiff of someone is like driving, like depends. It all depends. Sometimes I follow down, sometimes I won't, because most of the time we play zone.
We discussing.
But I'm saying.
I mean, we don't know how you guys play at this point, so it's not anything secret.
Right. So it'll be hard for me to get a block, but for me, I always put BG in the defensive player of the year category because, in my opinion, BG's the best center defender in the league. To be honest, I don't even think it's close.
I think it's close, but he's definitely. I would comfortably put him at the top.
Who's close?
I would comfortably. I think Sosa, when he's on his center, is pretty good.
Sosa did, yeah. So he just had like 4 blocks versus us too.
Yeah. So I think it's not like it's BG and then it's like there's a huge separation. I do think he's the best though, like without question. Like I think he's pretty comfortably at the top. I will agree with that.
So
but the thing is also the BG DJ combo, like protecting the paint is really tough because like 75% of the time, like it's gonna be BG like dropping down to protect the paint. But then like DJ will sometimes like you'll pump fake BG and he'll jump and then DJ comes in out of nowhere and he'll contest you, So it's like you guys have a structured team defense that is very like cohesive. So
yeah. For me, I think I'm putting myself there, and then I'm gonna put I'm gonna put myself there. But and then I'll let BG go. But what you said was good because offensive player of the year is so easy. It's usually about who scores the most. But DPOY is so different because I could guard my man, see something else, and get there, get the steal, or like just rotating and stop an easy bucket or whatever, something like that. So DPOY definitely is different. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say BG and I'm gonna go Evan. BG and Evan.
Okay.
I'd probably take Mel, honestly, because I think Mel is a very good defender, and I think he plays a similar role as DJ for their team as DJ does for you guys. So I'm gonna give Mel a shout out, the muddy legend, So we got to give him a shout out.
Yeah, I think man, it's tough. Like you guys said, I wish there was a better way to track DPOY, but it's really hard. I got I don't I don't vote for myself, so I'm not gonna name myself. I think from our team, I kind of want to go like DJ. Um, Men had like a couple games of like 5+ steals while still having like, double digit rebounds and a couple blocks in there. Like he's doing everything like all around on defense. And then I wish I could pay attention more defensively. From like the other games that I've seen, but I think Evan has done really well from what I saw like on ball at times. I think somebody on you guys team was playing pretty decent defense, but I think it was like again, it was kind of like ours, like a collective, so it's hard for me to pick. So I guess my front runner at this time is like DJ, and then probably very close second is Evan for me. I'm gonna start paying more attention to like Mel on the defensive end as well, because I did see a couple games where he had some good stats, but I'll be honest, I wasn't like focused in on watching him as much.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think those are my two right now, DJ and Evan, and it's like splitting hairs who you pick.
Yeah,
to me,
because it's different because Evan is like kind of like the only guy, not the only guy.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying though.
It's
Like,
like, oh, you got.
yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, Mig.
How about now?
Say something else again, just to test.
How about now?
All right, there you go.
So, no, I mean the DPOY is honestly one of the most difficult awards to give. You can give it for like the best player on the best defensive team.
Right.
That's the best way to.
Yeah. So all right, so let's go to what we do. MIP, right? Most improved. This is gonna be a hard one, I think, but let's go with that one.
It sounds crazy.
I can start it. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, you go.
So I actually low key, and this I don't know where you're going with this, but I low key feel like Mac is my MIP, and I know this sounds absolutely insane, but my reason is this season as opposed to last season, he's not been so ball dominant. He's still scoring at a very good clip and very efficiently, but it's contributing to wins.
Yeah.
And I know they have like
the flow of the offense.
Yes, I know he has a better team around him this time, but he is not being so ball dominant. I've watched their games a bunch. He's not dominating the ball as much, and he's still being very like even more efficient and more effective. So I kind of, and like I said, I know that sounds like crazy, but I have him as my I think I have him as my front runner for MIP, and then my number two I think is Tone. He's I don't know the stats off the top of my head. I don't know if he's you guys leading scorer right now, but he's been very efficient and he's torched some teams like 30 almost a 40-point game already. So I think I'm going with those two for and again it's like splitting hairs there who's 1A, who's 1B, but those are my two.
You know what's crazy? I was going in the same direction, but different player. Mine was going to be Phil. The reasoning because we just talked about how good Phil is offensively, but I think what shocked me, and I haven't played on a team with Phil in a long time, but Phil's defense is top tier. I've made it known to BG multiple times. Like Darius is my favorite person to play a 3-2 with because I don't gotta say nothing. He knows exactly when to rotate. And but Phil is I think during the game versus y'all, Mig, a little insider, I not snap because we don't do that, but I was like, yo, DJ had like helped or whatever. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And he was like, chill, me and Phil got it. Phil was like there like 2 seconds. And I was like, you right, I'm gonna shut up. But like I was like just shocked because I wasn't like used to like DJ and Phil never even played on a team together. So how do y'all have this like chemistry
Yeah.
where Phil's gonna drop and step back up, and then sometimes Phil will come way far and guard ball like I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So for me, I think my first would be Phil, but then also second, I did have Tone because Tone is the same as Phil. We just talked about. Like I feel like you could go with either one, but those would be my two.
Okay. Yeah, who you got, Mig?
Mig, you here? No, he's here. Mig. All right, let's just say for him, it's ace and ace.
All right.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, so I think
my man having technical difficulties.
You guys hear me now?
A little bit.
Keep testing and we'll come back to you. So
yeah.
So we got the early breakdown. There you have it just from our
Hello, can you guys hear me again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. So for me, I would say Vision, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's a good name, actually. That is a very good name.
I think it's Vision, and it's not even close, to be honest with you. Like, I've been playing with Vision. I mean, not playing with, but I've been in the league since Vision has been in the league. So, and to be honest, this is by far his best season, by far.
Yeah.
So I think we'd be remiss without putting him at the top.
I agree.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, I'm gonna change mine. I'm changing mine, and it's a runaway right now. I agree 100%.
I think he's averaging a double-double, which, and he played very well against us. I think he had like 19 and like 11 against us, on pretty good efficiency. So
and he's doing it multiple ways, shooting, jump shots. I've seen him post up. Like Viz is ball. I'll give you that.
And he's playing good defense for for what it's worth too.
Yeah,
for a center with 22 speed for sure.
Yeah, no, he's been solid. I actually forgot it. I guess not enough credit to their team, but yeah, he's been hooping. And so that's the other thing I want to kind of ask you guys, you both. So we talked about the awards. We've talked about like our surprise, we got Miggie's surprise like teams and so forth. So thus far with the standings being what they are, I'm gonna pull them up just to read them out so we have exactly what they are. Give me one sec. Pull this right up. Okay, we have standings. Why can't I find standings, bro? Oh, current season. Okay. Okay, so as of right now, we have Avengers at 1-6-0, Chrome Elite 4-2, second, Stormhoopers 5-2. I don't know which one's more accurate, like which one's accurate because of the extra gameplay.
I actually didn't update it, but Stormhooper should be 2 at 5-2.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. La Familia at 4-3, they're fourth. Crimson Cloud 3-3. Like and of course I'll finish out the standing. So Night Owls 2-6, and then Street Sweepers 0-8. But that like from 1 through 5, we're us being 3 weeks into the season and being that we've played at least 6 games each team. Some teams have played more games. But the standings being like literally a 2-game difference from first to fifth is crazy. So I kind of wanted to just get you guys' thoughts on this. Do you guys think, and I don't think this is going to be a permanent format, but how do you think, like, how successful has this been with we jokingly called it like the Wild Wild West, just the open format of like sign with whoever you want. But how have you guys enjoyed that so far? And how do you think that's helped with like league balance and competitiveness?
You want me to go, Ace, or?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So it's crazy because it's like, for the most part, some of these other teams have brought their guys in, and they're playing with their boys. So it's kind of like different when win, lose, or draw playing with your boys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for the most part, I thought, because we tried to add more teams last season, didn't work out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like playing with guys that you don't really know. When things start to go bad, then it gets uglier than what it should get. For the most part, because everybody's kind of like, even if you're losing, oh, we're still cool, we're still boys, like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been smoother sailing so far, outside of this week, I guess, than than last season for sure. Because we had a few captains the last season that, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I've
Uh,
I've think like so far just and I told this so I think I don't know if we mentioned this on the last pod or not, but I know I talked to Ace about this, and this was in the Lost Files, we'll call it. So originally Ace was saying like, oh, whoever wins this season, it's gonna be like a bubble ring, like it's the Mickey Mouse ring. It doesn't really count. But I was telling Ace, I said I think winning this season is actually gonna be harder than any other season personally, like just from my perspective. Like I know everybody came in, they looked at our team and they're like, oh, that they're gonna win. They're the season, well, not everybody, but certain guys were like, oh, the season's over, y'all might as well not play, blah, 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 blah. I disagreed right off the bat because I said, if you look at the teams, yes, we have a great team on paper, but so do you got like Miggy, Storm Hoopers have a great team from 1 through 5, no weakness, everybody that they want to play with, that you guys want to play with.
mhm.
Max team, though they were like kind of formed, I won't say thrown together, but they were formed with some guys that maybe didn't have like an exact place they really wanted to play. Very good team, top to bottom. I don't really see a weakness there. La Familia came in as a 5, so they had more chemistry, I think, than anybody else, even more chemistry than us. Because we made 2 changes. Great team, no weakness that I've seen from top to
Mhm.
bottom. And then you look at even Crimson Cloud, they're still figuring some things out, and they have some guys that are newer to the league, so it's going to be like that learning curve for a little bit, but still good team. You're playing with your boys, and you're not forced to pick like a glue guy because of a cap space thing or anything like that, and you're just picking who you want to play with. To me, I'm like, there's no excuses on if you lose or whatever. You got to play with who you wanted to play with. So to me, I almost say this chip, and I promise I'm not saying this because like I feel like, oh, we're gonna win it. But I feel like this chip means more than almost any of the other ones because the competition is gonna be so close. Like even us, like we're 6-0. Bro, imagine if we lose in the finals to somebody or in the playoffs to somebody, how much that's gonna
Yeah.
mean to them beating us. You know what I mean? So just my perspective.
Yeah, and I think in that lost files, I did change and I did agree with you because you're absolutely right. Like I think for me, I'm shocked how close the standings are, and I mean like in a way of yeah, you expected us to be good. You expected Stormtroopers to be good, and based on Miggie's squad report on La Familia, you knew they were going to be good. But I think what shocked me the most was that there's a bunch of guys like you mentioned, Chroma Lee, Crimson Cloud, who are good like individually, but you don't know how to work as a team. But from what we've seen from every team, like for example, your team, Mig, is no one. It's not like one person is controlling the whole thing. Like everybody contributes,
Yeah.
and the same thing for us. Like everybody contributes. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, it tastes good. But everybody is going to contribute, and I didn't expect like for it to go that way. I thought it would be completely different and more teams would lose or
I thought
lose
the
more
teams would be
games.
more chaotic, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. But for the most
that's
part,
what I thought.
everybody have been like relatively structured. And
Hmm.
to be honest, like, because the thing is also a lot of the teams in the league are quiet. You don't really know them. They just kind of show up to play and that's it. Like you don't really know anything about them. So even La Familia, like, they have like one or two guys that talk every once in a while, but for the most part, nobody really like you don't really know anything about them, but they just show up and they play, and I guess that's the best. That's a win, right?
Yeah.
I think this playoffs is going to probably be the most fun and competitive playoff series that probably happened in a long time.
Yeah. I actually, and that was and again, so I'll go back to those lost files for a second too. So that was kind of a thing. Me and Ace kind of did give La Familia a little bit more credit. I didn't have them number one though, but we did have them pretty high regard. And I know, at least for me, we soon as our team was formed, like soon as it became official, I think we soon as the league poll closed, where everybody agreed to make it like the Wild Wild West format, we brought the team together, right? So we ran practice, and I will tell you, bro, it went horrible. Like in my head, I was like, "Yo, what mistake did we like? Maybe this team isn't it? Like we should have just kept stuck with the five we had last season. Like that was, I promise you, like I was hitting like Ace is a little bit more reserved than I am, but I'm like, yo, I don't know if this is gonna work. And then we ran practice so in the first day we ran practice. Our lineup was
we might have played 6 games and we probably won one of those 6 games.
And we were getting dog walk too. It wasn't close. Like we're losing by like 20 plus points. I think maybe one of the losses was like a 2-point game. Outside of that, we were getting washed. And then to make it worse, I think one of the days we wanted to run practice, Ace couldn't make it. So we ended up running with Tay on point guard, and then Darius, we just hit up Darius on the side. He ran with us, and we lost again. So I'm like, yo, I don't, and the lineup was crazy. So
shout out to Darius, by the way, ultimate guy, guy.
Yeah, my guy. So that's kind of like what you were saying, though. It's like when you're trying to figure out lineups. So when you guys were running a certain whatever lineup you ran when you lost to La Familia, that makes a huge difference. Whether you're playing with your homies or not, bro, the lineups matter. So
yeah.
I was and so kind of like that was the whole thing. Like we were thinking like it's gonna take you guys a while to figure out what lineup you want to run. It's gonna take my goodness, Chrome Elite a while. It took us like I said, 6 games before we were like, all right, we need to go with this lineup. So and imagine if we didn't run practice and we came into the league expecting to run a lineup, we'd be getting dog walked in the league instead of in practice. So I was really impressed, kind of like what Miggy said, like teams look good. Like they don't look like people are just running around bumping into each other. Teams look good, and
which means that really teams are practicing. Which means, I love it too. And to your point, because Miggy, I don't know what builds y'all ran when y'all played La Familia, but just so far in the league, I know y'all ran like 3 or 4 lineups already, like different lineups. And with us, it was more so like, and probably the same thing with y'all. There's so much talent. Like, all right, yeah, I can ball, and Phil can ball, and Tay can ball, DJB. Like, you go down the whole list, and you don't want to hold the ball, hog the ball too much, and everybody so it got like a little chaotic in practice because we all not trying to step on each other's toes.
That John was awful, bro.
Yeah,
that John was awful.
But like after at the end of the day, it's a season, and and everybody wants to win. So we just, came together and was like, all right, we're going to do this, this, and this, and we'll see how it works. And then since then, I don't think we lost, even when we practice. But like, it's crazy how much builds and lineup matters because one thing may not work for one team, and so.
Also, sometimes like you go into the rec, especially like with us. We would go into the rec, and you can kind of put any lineup out there in the rec, and you have a chance of win. But it's a completely different situation when you go into the pro-am. You can't just put out any lineup. You got to put a lineup that works, because it's like all of a sudden, if the chemistry is not 100%, you're down by 20 in second quarter. So things can turn quick. Because I'm sure you guys have faced like crazy teams in the pro-am where it's like there's this one guy that scores 30 points and there's nothing you can do about it, so it just we've changed our lineup a few times, mostly because we had to reserve a couple of games, and then just trying to figure it out the best lineup for us, and so people were dealing with some stuff, so we just changed stuff around to put less pressure on them, so we've been changing stuff around. We've changed our lineup at least like 2 or 3 times already too. So
yeah. So I'm gonna we're gonna pivot a little bit here. So I've been trying, as you guys have seen, trying to get my Chat GPT to do these like wrap up articles. Is there any other things like off the top of your head? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here that you would like to see kind of added, just to like add. This is just little extra fluffy type stuff to add to like a little bit of excitement and drum things up a little bit.
I think maybe like the like All Star and like MVP ladders, just have it like ChatGPT be like an unbiased third party.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
to rank, it's like, hey, these put like for example the top two players on each team and their stats. You can't probably do it for a defensive player of the year, but in
Okay.
terms of like MVP and OPOY, you probably it's
Okay.
like, hey, these are the stats of each teams. These are their records.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
give me
Yeah.
a list of like, what an unbiased third party opinion. That'd be kind of
Yeah.
that'd
Yeah.
be interesting. I guess
Yeah.
it'd be tough, but I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'll just leave it as this is what Chat GPT came up with. I could do that like a once a week type of thing. And so I'll have
Also,
to
like as a template too for like everybody else, it's like, hey, listen,
yeah.
like these are the best players in the league. You guys got to pick from this group of people instead of like,
Yeah, yeah. So what I'll do is every week I'll try to get that done. I don't know what day of the week, but once the stats are done, I can do that. So that shouldn't be an issue. And
yeah,
then
people
just
got to get their stats in, bro. It's
yeah.
I'm trying to see some stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And then I guess the other thing, because we're gonna kind of wrap this up. So now, obviously, bro, after the way the game ended against you guys, to me, that this our matchup now becomes like the game of the week next week. It's gonna be like it's turning into like I was joking. I said this is like Lakers Celtics, like Bulls Pistons type like rivalry going on here. And I was laughing because Ace was downplaying it. He was like, "Bro, I ain't treating this game like it's any other game, right?" But I'm like, Ace, in my head, I'm not gonna. I'm about to do it in public now, but I'm like in my head, I'm not gonna speak against a teammate in public. But bro, I know 100% Ace be ready to go for the games against y'all, and I'm pretty sure it's the same way. So I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup. But I guess my question would be outside of our team versus you guys, is there any other matchup so far that is like the must watch matchup? And it doesn't have to be a game that's going to be played this coming week, but just in general, like, do y'all think there's another matchup that's like, oh yeah, I really want to watch this one, and you feel like most of the league members will be tuned in for that one?
I think I think well, you got to go by certain upsets that happen. I think us against La Familia because they beat us twice in the preseason. I guess we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm looking forward to playing them again. And then this time I'm gonna be probably playing point guard. So I want to see how their defense is like from me looking at it from a point guard's lens.
Mm-hmm.
Chrome Elite and La Familia too. Because I think La Familia beat Chrome Elite twice already. So I'm
Yeah,
sure they're
that was
trying
a
to get
good
their like
game. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
these are going to be mostly La Familia because they have had great wins, but they also had some pretty serious losses, and I'm curious to see how they look the second time against you guys. Um, so and then obviously Chrome Elite against y'all as well, because you guys have beaten everybody at this point. So it's just kind of like anybody who lost like a close matchup or, maybe they probably should have won, then just trying to see, it's like, okay, because to be honest, it's like you guys are the barometer right now. So I like when we played against you guys, I was just like, okay, like with me at point guard and our lineup the way that it is, like how competitive are we? So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that's
For
what I would
me,
say.
I think I would love to. I'm waiting for Chrome Elite versus Crimson again. That game that went to double OT,
Oh
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
which
That's
was
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
crazy. Danny hit some big shots, but it was
That
like
was
big
the game of
shot
the year
after
by far.
yeah, it was like big shot after big shot.
Yeah.
And then Mike actually got open at the end, but got glitched in front of the 3-point line, so he couldn't shoot because it possibly could have went to triple OT. But
Yeah.
I
That
think
was a great one.
for me, I think it's that game that I can't wait to watch again. And then to be honest, I think I would like to see La Familia and Night Owls again because Night Owls obviously took that win from them, but I want to see like how it happened. Remember, I think BG we had a game that night, and I was watching it, before our game, and I'm like, yo, like what's happening? Like, why this? I'm like, I don't understand how like they're winning right now, and it wasn't like either team was playing bad, but it didn't seem like they were doing like anything like different or spectacular. So I would like to see, like maybe if Night Owl got their number,
Yeah, that
you know,
yes, yeah. I do want to see.
that type of thing.
Yeah. I think and so I guess kind of because we're pushing almost an hour here. So um I do want to say this too. Like, there's some things that I'm seeing, like teams are making improvements as the season is going along, which is what I'm really enjoying so far about this season. But specifically, like I said, I feel like most of the teams are balanced. Obviously, like Street Sweepers, they were kind of like the team that was like literally the last put together. They didn't have anywhere else to play type team. So I'm not saying that I don't expect much of them, but they've been pretty impressive as far as like was mentioned before, like hanging with teams. But I
Hmm.
think Night Owls has the biggest I don't know if I'm saying this right, but the biggest potential to turn things. I mean, obviously, since they're the team that's struggling the most outside of Street Sweepers, they have the biggest room to like turn things around. But I was impressed by their game against La Familia, and then they had a tough loss right after that. So I'm just curious to see as far as them, like what's going on with their center. Because outside of that, if you fix the center position, I think they're a solid team to be honest. Because their center just can't rebound. Um, and that's killing. Like they're getting beat on the boards very badly.
No, that kills you.
Yeah, so if they can fix that, I think they become a very competitive team. I don't see like I'm just trying to so I guess we'll just go kind of like where do you guys see who do you how do you guys see I don't want to
Like the second
target.
half of the year going, or
Yes, exactly.
I think Street Sweepers, they haven't won a game, but I think individually, especially the way Vision has been playing, like individually, I think they have the most to gain. They just have to figure out the chemistry. I think their chemistry, especially offensively, is a little off. Um, they've done some lineup changes and they looked much better the second time we played them than
Yeah,
the first time we played them.
yeah,
So I'm curious to see like what adjustments they make and if they, make that chemistry issue. Um, you know, Night Owls, I don't, I'm not sure what changes they can make. So we'll see. And then I think Crimson Cloud, right now I think you said they're 3-3. So maybe like they can upset a few teams because they definitely have like the talent individually to, because I know you guys haven't seen Kandonga much or Danny and all that stuff, but like those guys can play. Like so maybe they make a lineup change that it's in their favor, and we'll see how that goes.
yeah. Do you guys see like the standings changing any major changes? You don't have to call out who you think is going to finish last, who you think is going to finish first. Do you see any teams making any moves in the standings, whether up or down?
No, I think it'll stay exactly how it is. And um, I mean, let's be real. Street Sweepers 0-8. That is even though
It's a death sentence at this point,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
almost.
we have what 10 games left.
Yeah.
You
Well, they
already
they
in
do.
like
They do.
major bad essentially.
Yeah.
So, and now what Miggy was saying is true. They have nothing to lose. I mean,
Yeah.
all you have to do is catch Night Owls, I guess, to make the playoffs. But even if that happens, I mean, who realistically, who in like what team is Street Sweepers beating that's in the playoffs?
Yeah. Um,
So I
yeah.
mean, I don't think that, and if you're not beating any of those teams in the playoffs, then you're probably not going to beat them in the regular season either. Um, and but I do think Crimson is better than Night Owls, and I think Chrome Elite is better than Crimson. I think maybe if you see some changes, maybe it's whoever's fighting for that like third or fourth seed because it could be uh
Mhm.
any one of the seeds I guess that's there now 3 through 5.
Yeah.
So I mean so I don't see
Out
too
of
much movement.
out of all the teams that have like I guess most realistically the most improvement that they can make is probably La Familia because they have the
Yeah,
talent and the cohesion to make it. They've had a couple
Mhm.
of tough losses, so
Mhm.
maybe they figure it out lineup wise moving forward, and then all of a sudden it's like you know then they're a tough out, so
Yeah.
yeah. I
because I
think
honestly
either
was very
Avengers
interested in
or
seeing how they played against you guys.
Yeah.
Um, and I was really looking forward to that game, and you guys handled them pretty easily, and I was very very surprised, mostly because of how they played against us. And to be honest, like they played us much, much better than they have played anybody else. So I guess they probably thought that like, oh, these guys are one
Yeah.
of the better teams,
Yeah.
then we can probably handle everybody else. And they're
Yeah.
slowly figuring out it's like, well, if we are not prepared, then it's not the case. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I
Stormtroopers Avengers get the 2 buys anyway. So, I mean, really, I think it's I think the playoffs stays the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back for just a sec too. I'm looking forward to like the next Stormtroopers versus Chrome Elite, because to me, I think whoever wins that one, that's who's I got like finishing first or second. Like I got us
Mm-hmm.
pretty confident that we'll finish either first or second. And I got whoever wins, like you guys, I guess series uh oh my goodness, yes, regular season series winning or being first or second too. So I'm really interested to see that. And I don't, it's very hard for me to determine who's the better team. I think you guys take the edge as far as like, I want to say chemistry. Because, obviously you guys have just known each other longer, stuff like that. I think they have the most dominant player in the league at this time, but it's the question of what do the other guys do around him when they play you guys. So that's a matchup I'm really looking forward to. So I'm not gonna say shake up, but that's where the standings. I just have you guys 2-3, like one through three is us, you guys, in Chrome Elite, and then La Familia. I think they can sneak up there and take a top three spot, but personally, I don't think they will, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
I think
So
they can, because maybe because I'm a little traumatized how they kind of demolished us before the season started. So, and they were beating us the first game of the season. So, you know, so I mean, granted, it was a 3-point game when his TV went black. So it's still at that point anything can happen. But and they did beat Chrome Elite. So so it's like I think us those like the biggest parity is going to be
yeah,
between us,
yeah,
Chromely and La Familia. So
yeah. Yeah. And then I guess the other thing, so I want to, and this will be going forward, like the next pod or whatever, want to do a segment where we kind of like spotlight a specific team, and maybe we'll go over like look at the stats, the standout players, and so forth. So that'll be for our next pod. I want to thank Mig for joining. Once again, your host BG and Ace here. Um, Definitely looking forward to that next matchup with the Storm Hoopers, and so everybody can see there's no like bad blood there. We do want
nah.
to beat their heads in, but but
Same.
no bad blood whatsoever. And definitely appreciate you getting on with us, Mig. And looking forward to you just keep balling out this season, because you definitely are on my like MVP watch as well. Um, so you know, appreciate you
Yes, sir.
guys. And with that,
All right.
we're gonna wrap this up. And the usual, we out. If I can find the stop recording. Oh, there we go.